Start.
My name is Vanessa, and I'm arguing that video games should become a school sport. I think that it takes practice and skill and strategy just like any other sport, and it's kind of not right to consider
Sophia
it not
Barker.
one, even if it's
Her
doing
opponent,
almost all the same things
Vanessa.
as normal sports. And people make a living off of video games. Like, you think it's a more stable job than being in any other sport, like NFL. They can only be in NFL for so long before they have no choice. You can play video games your whole life, and you can continuously make money off of it. And oh, by the way, all of my information is either from first-hand experience by myself or Ryan of IBS.com or Anna Sterczewski and Katie Wilmore of juniorscholastic.com. Okay, continuing. One of the articles I mentioned says that you can get scholarships, and if it's like any other scholarship where you can get into college and stuff like that, I mean, everyone should be practicing video games. Like, getting into college for something like that, everyone can do that. Why not take the opportunity? And more people are expected to watch video games on TV and mobile devices and all that stuff than all other sports except for football by next year. That's insane. I think that one of the main contradicting points of video game becoming a sport, right, is that you're sitting down. But that's not the only way that you can do sports. They're like video games, like VR. It's like you're literally like jumping up and down and moving all around while you're doing it. That's exercise, is it not? It's a full body activity. And even if you're not just doing VR, it's still exercising your hands, which is a muscle that you can get to. Anyway. Yes?
So you're basically saying the reason that we should do it is because you could make money off of it, and the thing is, you can make money off of lots of things. And you're saying, oh, well, you're exercising while you're sitting down here, you're exercising. There are plenty of other things that you could do that it means that you're still. We shouldn't consider all of those factors to make something a sport, is what I'm trying to say. Like, you could say that, oh, in schools we should make lifting weights a sport because, we're moving our hands up and down and stuff, and you can make money off of being a weightlifter and going to all those different things and stuff. That doesn't mean that it should be something that's taught to kids.
That's not an activity like playing video games. Playing video games is like a team activity. It helps build team exercises and getting children to relate to their peers and stuff like that. So the same as any other school sport.
Do you think that the level of maturity, especially in middle school students, is enough to have them say, oh, you should sit at the computer and we're going to play this game? Do you think that they have the maturity level to be able to be on there, to be trusted, to be on the internet, to do that, to do those things? I mean, video games can potentially be dangerous for people. You could meet people on there who are bad. There are many people who badmouth. I personally play video games. There are plenty of people who talk on there and they have foul language, they say foul things. I don't think it's something that should be considered appropriate for school.
That doesn't mean that you can't put limits and things on it. Like how the school computers, you can't go on like certain websites and stuff. You could put it so that you can't go on like bad video games, or you can't go on specific servers that have things. You could put censor words into the chat and things like that.
Do you think there is a fair way to decide, this game is inappropriate or this game isn't? Who do you think should have the right to judge whether a game is appropriate or not? Because anybody, Fortnite, they can make an argument, oh, it has guns, that's gun violence, that's teaching our kids to fight against people. Call of Duty, fighting, blah, blah, blah. There are plenty of things that you could say are inappropriate. I mean, Minecraft, you have to kill a bunch of creatures. That could be teaching kids how to, not be kind towards all different kinds of people. It just, you can't decide whether or not something should be appropriate for school or not.
So is any team sport. Literally, you're going going against people in football, and you're saying that that's not teaching kids that they should go against each other? It's the same thing. If you were playing a game in Minecraft where you're supposed to play like against another team, is that not the same thing as football? You're playing against another team, you're exercising. Literally, I said before that it doesn't have to be a game where you're sitting down. It could get VR. You never know what you're going to do. You don't have to specifically say that it's that.
All right, and wrap it up.
And that is why I think that video games should be a school sport.
Okay. All right. Now we'll have the counter argument, and that's going to be by Sophia.
Barker.
1, 2, and 3. Go.
Hello, my name is Sophia Barker, and today I'm arguing that no, video games should not be a school sport. According to dictionary.com, sport is defined as an activity involving physical exertion and skill in which an individual or team competes against another or others for entertainment. Video games involve little to no physical exertion. We're considering video games as a school sport when technically they don't qualify as a sport. They can also potentially have negative effects on students. For example, ophthalmologist Phoebe Court claims that I'm very concerned for this generation's eyesight. Screens are efficient, however, the amount of time children spend on electronics could be fatal for their eyesight. Certain nerve endings connecting the eyesight to the brain can be severely damaged by screens, and in the future may even lead to loss of sight. There are already many electronics used in schools today because, we have computers, and here we have computers in lots of different places. The fact that people think that we should add more and more to these health risks is just, it's not good because it could be hurting our students. And the fact that video games that aren't even sports could potentially be placed in schools is setting an example for people that we support unhealthy behavior that could physically hurt students and could lead to a fatal injury. And more than that, they're not necessary in children's lives because we've gone this long without having them. And yes, there could be advancements, but if it's something that could potentially hurt a child, why should we include it in a school curriculum? Therefore, I believe that video games should not be a sport.
Okay.
You said if there's something that could potentially hurt a child, then why should we include it in school? Definition of sports. Physical activity. There's always a risk of injury with physical activity. If you're saying that we should not include video games because we have a risk of damaging our eyes, wouldn't that be like saying we shouldn't play football because we risk damaging our bones or our shoulders or anything like that?
Well,
So much worse. Literally, you can get do you realize how many concussions people in the NFL get? Literally, do you realize how much? And we don't even have half the good equipment that they have.
there are debates obviously going on with different sports, but in this argument, I'm saying that if it's something that could hurt a child's health, as in making it so that they would go blind, it's something that we should not include. And yes, there could be injury in other sports, obviously, and
That's the inherent
sure,
risk.
that's something that is bad. But the way that they are referees, there are consequences for different things like that can happen. There's no way to reverse that kind of pain and that kind of thing that's going on in your eyes. And you could go to a doctor for something. There are referees who are there to help to make sure that students don't get hurt. And obviously you could make an argument for football saying, oh yeah, sure, you can get hurt in that. But there are a ton of debates going on about those individual sports. But personally, something that could damage your eyes is something that we shouldn't include and put more of in a student's life because there's already all of that anyways. Vanessa.
You're saying the referees are there to make sure that the students don't get hurt, right? You're telling me there wouldn't be some regulations on how much time the students could spend on the screen? There would be. Would there not?
Yes, but in the article it was talking about how over time it affects your eyes, and we already see plenty of screens today. There there are already regulations, there are things online that try to tell you not to do that, but say we put that in school, add it on to the research and the time that people spend, then time that people spend on their phones in school, then time that we're adding to make that as a sport, then they go home and they play their games, then they watch a TV show, and then they go to bed. That's a ton of pain on their eyes, and it's something that could potentially destroy the nerves inside of their eyes.
You said that, so you basically listed all the times that like we're on screen during the day, right? Is that what you said? Out of all of those items, how many were caused by adding video games to the school? 1. Out of what, like 7 or 8 items that she said? Well, if we add video games, you even yourself said they go home and they play their own games. If we didn't add video games, as you said, not what I'm saying, as you said, they would still go home and play their own games. But now, if they're doing it at school, they're doing it in a team environment, in a more friendly, more monitored environment. So why is that bad? I mean, because you're saying that we already have all this other screen stuff, and you have TV, you have phone time, what you said. And then now you're saying if we add this one more, it's going to be bad. Why? We're going to add it, and we're going to add even more stuff like team stuff, monitoring, if they're going to go do it anyway.
Well, that's a personal choice of a person, and in a school, you shouldn't support, as a teacher or a faculty, you shouldn't support kids being on more and more electronics, because at the end of the day, it's always going to be their choice.
Yeah.
But when you're supporting, when school is saying, oh yeah, we should add on this time, that we are saying that it's something that we are promoting almost as a school, as a faculty, as teachers, saying, yes, this is going to be a sport that you can choose to do or whatever. This is all very hypothetical, but that's, as a school, supporting that is, in my personal opinion, very wrong. Therefore, I believe that video games should not be at school.
I was going to say that it's their personal choice to decide to play football. It's their personal choice to decide to want to play video games. It doesn't mean that we shouldn't be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, why would we promote football if we know people can get hurt while they're doing it?
It's the same
Why would we
argument
promote
you're
video
making,
games?
Sophia.
We know people can get hurt while they're doing it.
The argument you're making could be applied to all sports.
It could be applied to all sports, but in our debate, are we talking about should football be in school? Or are we
No,
talking about,
but with your reasoning, you're saying that all sports should be not at school because they can cause injuries. That's your argument right there.
that's not my argument.
You're saying-
argument
well,
is
you're-
that if it's something that could literally take away your sight, then it's not something that a school should be supporting.
Well, other sports can take away your movement at all. They can,
It's possible,
And it's
Okay.
possible with the electronics. It's the same thing.
but the thing is,
what's
in
worse?
a generation of people who are constantly looking at their screens, who are, or that
Sophia.
is filled with people looking at their screens, it's something that doesn't work. It's something that shouldn't be a part of a school system, because there's already so many screens going on, and it's more of an evolutionary thing. As we keep going on, the more we look at screens, the more we evolve, the more our eyes will be hurt. So as a school supporting that and saying we should have these electronics in school, it could be hurting our students.
All right.
Sophia.
So,
Sophia,
Alright, so
Sophia.
Kane or Cheese